Today, I just dropped my very first full-length instrumental album, Zodiac, which is available now wherever you stream music. And this album took 1 whole year to release. 12 months, 12 different vibes, and figuring things out along the way. What up, family? I'm Samedi Noir, and in today's video, I want to talk about how this album came about, the logic behind the concept, what I learned through the process, and also go over some of my favorite tracks on the project. So, if you're new and haven't really been following my journey, earlier this year, I began releasing one single on the second Saturday of every month. And I call this series Deuxième Samedi, which of course is French for second Saturday, which fits the theme perfectly for my overall branding in general. Oh yeah, side note, just to be transparent, although my artist name isn't French, I'm not a French speaker. My late father, however, God rest his soul, was very fluent in the French language. And as I stated before in the previous video, this whole project in itself is just a personal dedication to him. So just putting that out there just so I don't get hit with the poser label from any of my French-speaking family. I can, however, speak and understand most Haitian Creole, so it's pretty close. But anyway, I digress. Back to the music. So the reason I decided to release a single every month came about really when I was doing some research on how to navigate the whole music game and getting my music heard. I was pretty much all over Reddit and different DIY artists and marketing YouTube channels trying to figure out a strategy, right, on how I can somehow carve out my own little niche in this big ocean of music. And one strategy I kept seeing pop up was what some people call a waterfall release strategy, where basically, instead of dropping a complete EP or album at one time, you would basically just drip each song periodically, maybe like 4 to 6 weeks apart, until the full project is released. Apparently, the Spotify algorithm really likes when you drop consistently, and strategically, it would also help since each song would end up on your followers' release radar playlist, giving you a little algorithmic push, right? Also, it allows you to pitch each song separately for your Spotify editorial playlists, giving you more opportunities to actually land one if you're lucky. So I decided, yeah, let me give that a shot, right? I will say though, the way I released them was not your traditional waterfall method. Ideally, what they say to do is 1, drop your first single, right? Then 2, when you drop your second one, you would put that new one as the first track and then put the previous single as the second track. Stay with me. So on your next drop, which is the third, you'll put that third single as the first track, and so on and so on and so on. I know it's a little confusing, but you would just keep building on top of that. And that's how most people on YouTube advise to do it. I checked out some artists and that's how they've done it. But me personally, I didn't want to drop them like that, to be real with you. I didn't want my discography scattered around like that. To me, as a listener, that's pretty annoying. But to each their own, because apparently it works. Plus, I wanted to give each track its own separate stage to shine. I mean, could the traditional waterfall have been a better execution? Possibly, but who knows? But honestly, I'm kind of glad I did it the way I did. So as you can probably already figure out by now, I had a consistent theme with each of these singles, which was basically zodiac signs. Now, why zodiac signs? Okay, so let me take you guys through my thought process real quick. First, it was more so strategic than trying to be all esoteric or cosmic or whatever. Like, by no means am I some kind of astrology expert or anything. I mean, do I find it interesting? Yeah, I mean, sure. I feel like there's like a lot of consistencies between people, their personalities, and their zodiac signs. But do I base my life around these concepts? I personally don't, to be honest. So why make a whole series based around that then? Well, when I was playing with the idea of a monthly release at the time, I knew I didn't want to just drop random tracks just to say, here you go, I did it. I knew that I wanted some intention behind it or some thought put into it. Some that at least make it make sense, right? So I figured The best way to make everything cohesive was to incorporate some kind of theme, just to give it some kind of order rather than just being arbitrary drops. So once that decision was made, it was time to find a theme. Basically, in my mind, there were a couple points I wanted to address. Since this was the first time I was attempting to drop music this frequently, and since I'm pretty much still a newer artist, I wanted to kind of just be free with my creative direction, and I wanted to explore different vibes sonically. And I planned on using second Saturday drops as a stage to do so, to test different approaches and experiment with different moods while still attempting to keep it sonically cohesive. Another point in my mind was that I wanted to offer something that different people can connect with. I mean, I feel like I have a pretty niche sound, but I think there's still a diverse range of people that actually listen to me. And I wanted to be able to speak to those people and speak to those different groups. So I figured, okay, there's each of these 12 months in which I want to drop a song, and I want to connect with different groups of people. I mean, everybody has a birthday, right? And everybody has different personalities, of course. Okay, so let me just base it around zodiac signs then. Boom. On one hand, I feel like it'll make it easier to structure. And two, it makes it easier to message and market, right? And it gives me a reason to explore different approaches, since I definitely wanted to play into the aspect of each sign being essentially different, right? So to me, that was the perfect theme. And once my mind was made up, there was nothing left to do but execute. Funny enough, I actually came up with that whole concept in like 2023 while like randomly having some lunch in my car. So I'm definitely satisfied with how this whole project turned out. And I love each track for their very own reasons. But naturally, of course, there are a few tracks I do like a little more than others for different reasons. And I'll go over some of them now in no particular order. First, I'll start with Gemini, Gémeaux. From the first moment of conceptualizing this track, I knew that I wanted to somehow make it like a 2-in-1 beat, or at least give it 2 parts, just to capture that dualistic nature that the sign is known for. I personally like the journey that this beat takes the listener on. Like the intro, it starts off minimal and builds up, being carried by this kind of epic lead and some lush synths. And then it just transitions into something with a smooth bounce, but it's all still tied together, almost like 2 sides of the same coin, I feel. Next, I would say Cancer, Cancer. I just like how weird it sounds. I don't know. There's something unexplainable about it. Like a je ne sais quoi, right? In fact, somebody left a random YouTube comment on it saying something like, it sounds out of this world or alien or something like that, to that effect. And I love that description personally, because that's exactly how I felt about it, both while making it and listening to it. Another personal pick of mine would have to be my actual zodiac sign, of course, Taurus, Taureau. Outside of it being my sign though, I just absolutely love the vibe on this one. This was released in like May, so I wanted it to feel something like a chill drive along the coastline with no destination, with a nice breeze on a beautiful sunset. Something that just feels good, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it really matches my vibe as a listener. Next up, I'll give it to Scorpio, Scorpion. This one also has a vibe that I personally like. My favorite elements on that track are the synth plucks that I played throughout the beat. Like, they really gave the track a certain character that I was looking for while I was making it. And just throwing this one in there, I would also have to say Aquarius, Verseau. This was actually the first beat I made when I started working on the series, in fact. So I guess it still kind of has this special place in my heart, for lack of better terms. But I think there's different elements in that beat that just blend so well together to create this different and dope vibe. Like the ambiance, I love the bass line, the synths and leads, the drum patterns I love, and even the swing of the beat itself. They all come together to create this like dreamy and ethereal vibe that still kind of slaps. And for my final personal pick, I would actually say this one is my favorite track out of all of them too, for real. And the funny thing is, it was actually the quickest beat to complete. And that one is Pisces, Poisson. I started on that track immediately after completing another one, just so at least I can get a skeleton down before really going in. And I guess I was in a flow at that point because, man, I didn't stop until it was done. And it took about, say, an hour and a half maybe. It just felt right the more and more I just started adding to it. And I knew that it was the one after I bounced it to play it on some other different speakers and stuff like that to listen. The feeling that beat gave me, I still feel to this very day whenever I listen to it. It just gives me like this sense of calm and relaxation, like being suspended in time and just living in the moment. So off the top of my head, those were just a few of my picks that really stand out to me. But like I said earlier, I like all of them for their own different reasons, for real. And yes, I actually do listen to them straight through. But I definitely want to hear from y'all though. Drop your zodiac sign in the comments and let me know if you liked your track or even if you hated it. So there's definitely a few lessons I've learned while dropping these songs leading up to the complete album. And I've definitely gained some knowledge, wisdom, and understanding along the way. One, time moves fast. And I think that this is something everybody already knows, but I guess it just got reinforced for me while actively dropping consecutively for every 4 weeks. On top of still dropping scheduled EPs in between, it's super important to have everything ready to go ahead of time so you're not scrambling and scraping. No diddy. Closer to the drop dates. Assets, pitches, marketing, content, etc. And this leads to another lesson. You could never have too much content. One thing I ain't come to grips with yet was producing multiple pieces of content for each single. Cause I knew it was necessary, but I still only dropped maybe like one visualizer for each single. I mean, in theory, it should have been easy for me to drop content for each one because, I mean, the subject matter is just so simple, right? And it's direct. But honestly, I haven't gotten around to just focusing heavily on content creation. I'm sorry. Would it have made a difference in the overall numbers? I'm pretty sure it would have. But I haven't yet gotten to the point where I'm this content creation machine. Maybe things change. Baby steps. But I think the biggest lesson I've learned from this whole process is that nobody cares. And not to sound all doom and gloom, but man, there's really a lot going on out here. Around the world, on social media, in different subcultures that everyone's probably a part of, in each of our own personal lives. Bruh, people are not really as worried as we think they are about a lot of different shit. Like, headlines come and go. Trends appear, disappear, and probably reappear again. And freaking attention span just gets smaller and smaller and smaller with each app and each new download. Moments come and moments go so quick, man. If you're a creator, bro, man, just drop it, man. Stop playing, bro. Enough of the perfection, enough of the overthinking. As long as it's true to you and you put in your absolute best effort, man, just let it go. Give it back to the universe. Just start creating your own moments that connect with who they're supposed to. You're overthinking for no reason because really nobody cares. But all in all, I thoroughly enjoyed this whole process for real. Watching everything unfold over the course of this year gave me a sense of satisfaction and fulfillment for real. So much so that, you know what? I'm gonna do this again next year. So yeah, man. So y'all heard it here first. Deuxième samedi, second Saturday, 2026, coming soon. Stay tuned for more info. So, if you got this far, thank you for watching. If you already been tuned into Deuxième Samedi, I appreciate you for listening. Thank you so much. If you want, go ahead and take a listen to the complete album to see how it sounds in this full context and see if it changes the dynamic of each track. And also drop your favorite tracks below in the comments. If you haven't heard any of these tracks yet, I'll go ahead and put a link in the description just in case you do feel like checking it out. I'd definitely love to get your thoughts as well from somebody with fresh ears. Again, Zodiac, my first full-length instrumental album that took 1 whole year to release, is out now on all streaming platforms. Link down below. Once again, family, thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next one.